What's going on, people? So today's video is going to run through one of my buy-to-let purchases, and what I'm going to do is actually run through all of the costs associated with that. So hopefully it gives you an understanding in terms of what you should be expecting. And also, as usual, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks so you don't make the same mistakes as myself, because even on this project, which was actually a really good buy-to-let and still is a great buy-to-let, there's still some things that, well, I kind of made a mistake with. So I want to make sure that you guys don't do the same. And just before we begin, so I actually asked this question over on the community tab. So thank you to everyone who did respond to that. Sorry for the 2% who think buy-to-lets are boring, but this is mainly for the 98% of you that hopefully this video helps. Also, guys, if you're not following me on Instagram, I literally drop nuggets of information, any mistakes I make, updates in relation to not just the stuff I'm doing recently with the crypto investments, but also with property as well, which should hopefully help you. Okay, let's jump straight into this one. So this is the house. Now, you're probably thinking, does it look great? I mean, I won't get offended whether you think it's great or not, but essentially when I'm buying properties, especially now, probably not more so then, I buy it without emotion. I'm not thinking that I necessarily thinking of it as a residential home. I'm thinking it as a buy-to-let, a safe, nice home for somebody else to live in. Now, the one I actually brought was actually the best house on the street. It is actually this one. It's not with the one where the render's all coming off. And I'll just run through some photos. So it was with a family who were looking to move into another area, and it was really well kept. So this is the kitchen area. There was like a dining area here. Just through here where I'm waving my mouse, that was actually an extension into the garden as well. And again, it was kind of like a kid's little play area. So it had a lot of space. And then again, this is just another snapshot of the kitchen. What this family did is they really maintained the upkeep of the home. This was a brand new boiler at this point as well. So obviously when you're going in and you're thinking of what's going to cost me the most, it's usually your electrics or your plumbing. And to know that the electrics are up to date and obviously the plumbing was fine, that just meant that you weren't going to get some nasty surprises, although you can still get some. And then again, if you just move through, so this was actually the room. As soon as you walk in, I will show you a floor plan in a second. Actually, I'll show you that now. So where I'm talking about now, you walk through the entrance here, the reception room. So essentially this was the reception room. Now this was a cool little area here. And this is kind of one of the things that made me buy this house, as if I was going to live there myself, even though we knew it was going to be a buy-to-let. It's basically a man cave. So you go downstairs and there's a nice little area here. And obviously you can do whatever you want with that. Now, just going to quickly run through, this was the other room just before the kitchen. So those two reception rooms. Again, just quickly going back here. So that's the reception room. This was leading upstairs. This is the second reception room. I've just showed you the kitchen, and obviously that was the extension. Now, I don't know why they've got duplicate photos here, but it is what it is. That's obviously the back. This is one of the bedrooms. So again, a decent size. They keep showing that photo. This was another bedroom as well. So it was a 2-bedroom house. The bathroom was nice. It was a brand new bathroom as well. And obviously you can see it looked immaculate as well. Again, another photo. They just seem to be replicating. Now, what they did have was, if I just run back here. So yeah, so as you get upstairs, somewhere on here, I'm just trying to get my bearings. I can't think at the minute. There was literally like a roof conversion. So again, this guy kind of had 2 man caves. And it was actually somewhere which was quite habitable, but we weren't classing it as a bedroom. But inside there, it had like a television and it had loads of like kids stuff in there. So again, more room. So it wasn't necessarily your typical 2-bedroom house, which we thought is obviously a bonus. Now, we purchased this for £80,000 in 2017, and it was a terrace freehold. And this was actually a spreadsheet that I made back in the day. So like I always say to you guys, try and document your journey, because you're going to make so many little, let's call them lessons, but essentially mistakes. And you're going to do little things that you'll either forget for your next property or just things that you need to improve on. So I've just run through these, but I'm going to run through these on my deal analyzer because it's a little bit easier. And all I've done here is like things like lessons learned, for example. There is a calculator. Again, I share this on the Instagram as well. At this point, I was looking at the yield. I was thinking, what's the best yield possible? And then if we just jump over to the actual deal analyzer. So I'm just going to move this across. I've just kind of plugged the figures in. These are what I want to kind of run through with you guys today. So purchase price was £80,000. There was 2,400 deposit here. So obviously I had properties prior to that. And the wife at the time as well, she was on our residential mortgage. Solicitor fees were £1,000. I can obviously get those slightly cheaper now. And the broker fee was £350. Then what I did is essentially just look at the landlord cost. So the EPC, which obviously was needed at that point, which was £50. The gas safety per annum, that was £35, and then the insurance per annum as well. And then after that, we look at the mortgage as well. Now, the mortgage side of it is we took it out on a 75% loan to value mortgage. The deposit obviously was £20,000. The mortgage amount per month on an interest only was £151.59. And the rent we were actually getting was £650. So imagine buying a house for £80,000 that's renting you £650. That is pretty decent. And I'd be very surprised in today's market if we can get that. Hence why I always say, if I knew how good a deal this was, even as a vanilla buy to let, I would have tried to buy the road. Then obviously we have the net yield, the gross yield, and the ROI. So essentially what I've done with the ROI is I've done it as a net figure. So I always account for 10% of voids and maintenance. A lot of people don't do this, and a lot of people will then have a nasty surprise where they've either spent their money or they don't have a buffer in their account when the boiler breaks or something happens. I mean, in this particular house, one of the ceilings in one of these bedrooms did have a bit of a problem later on. I think it was after about 3 years. So I did have to go back. But because I had that buffer of 10%, I've had no voids on that particular property. I was able to literally just jump into that and then obviously pay for the maintenance. And that cost about £1,000. So it's always important to try and have 10-15% if you can do that. I definitely recommend it. And also for voids as well, because an important thing to note is if somebody leaves, for example, and you're unable to get someone for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, you've literally lost like a lot of income. So for example, that's £650 you've lost. So please make sure that obviously you account for that. Now, the other costs here, I've just kind of factor this in because I don't want no one to forget these kind of things. The moment you buy the property, unless you've got a tenant waiting straight away, you are liable for the bills. So that's the electric, the gas, the council tax, for example, and obviously the insurance. So what I've done here, this was the council tax for the year. This is obviously the amount per month. A deep clean, we did get one done just before obviously bringing in a tenant as well. That cost us about £100. And then we also had the buffer as well. So whatever the mortgage was, I just made sure I had like 2 months aside at this point. So that's just some things to note. Now, when it comes to just literally populating this, I'm just literally throwing the numbers in and it kind of calculates itself. This is also the same one I know many of you have got, which obviously works with the BRRs and flips as well. But just for a buy to let, these are essentially the main costs that you're going to be having. And that, my friends, is pretty much that. It's a very quick video. Obviously, if you want to download this deal analyzer, as there's like 20-30,000 of you on Instagram now, there's quite a few of you here, sending out emails 24/7 is going to be an absolute nightmare. So what I have done is I have put it on my Skillshare class, which I'll link down below and put in the comments. These classes are absolutely free. There's 2 basic beginner ones on there. So if you know nothing about property, it's probably worth you watching them. 100% free, by the way. And within these, if you click them, there should be like resources. So this one, obviously, I've got some resources here for the probate letter in terms of finding good off-market deals. And then obviously, if you want to set up your property goals, this is where you want to be going if you do choose to use a Skillshare. And I've got all of the downloads there. So it's absolutely free. Plus, that's me. Don't want to see myself talking. Plus also on there as well, you can also learn other stuff. You get a month free of premium Skillshare. So you can learn stuff like, I don't know if you know Ali Abdo or some of the bigger YouTubers, Thomas Frank, for example, they got classes on there. You can learn how to edit videos. There's so much stuff on there. So literally you got a month free, download all of my stuff, use it, hopefully get yourself some deals, then obviously just cancel it after a month. It won't charge you a penny. So hopefully guys, that helps. Hopefully you find some of this going through the figures a little bit useful. If you want something else or different types of videos, please do let me know. Again, this channel is solely dedicated to you guys making more money, not as many mistakes as myself, and just going out and doing it bigger and better. And as always, guys, thank you so much for sticking around with me today when you could have been doing anything and you chose to spend a few moments with me. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.